welcome back everyone to the OPL. We'll have our last game of the night teed up for you in just a second. My name is Julian Pastry-Temcard. Joining with me once again is Zach Rusty Pie, and it's Absolute versus Chiefs to close out the evening.
Yeah, but first, let's just touch back on that last game and what was a very close match to start with. And out of nowhere, the Direwolves side with Sharp in the mid lane took off, and they looked really strong.
They did indeed. King, of course, still a strong player, but curious to see what happens to the Wolves when Perfections comes back into the lineup. But enough of that for now. Of course, we'd love to get your thoughts on that last game, and of course, this upcoming one as well. So get yourselves onto Twitter and use that very fancy hashtag, #IamOPL.
And speaking of upcoming games, we've got Absolute up against the Chiefs, and Chiefs have been looking dominant since the start of this split. They looked dominant last split, but maybe looking to go for that undefeated run.
It's true, 13-1 last split. Currently 4-0 as they enter this game, so a while away from the 14-0 dream that they maybe just missed out on last split. But, you know, they need to keep winning if they want to be undefeated, so need to have a game here. And Absolute, this is a big test for a team that has had great moments so far in the OPL, but is maybe struggling to stitch it together, you know, and actually carry a consistent performance through a game.
Yeah, they had a really strong game up against Sudden Fear with Kulo, their AD carry, going 10-0. So they've had these glimpses of complete brilliance where their side looks amazing, and then you put them up against some other sides, and sometimes they just cake it a little bit, and they don't always perform to the max level. But, I mean, coming into this third week, they're starting to look a lot more comfortable than they did.
They are, and they've actually made a roster change here as well. Important to note, Mattress, their sub-support that was playing while Strawbella was away, is actually their full-time support now. So kind of swapping that position around, we'll move the sub onto the main and then move their starter down into their substitute roster. I think both supports are fine from what we could see if they're playing the OPL. Nothing overwhelming one way or another. Not too sure why they specifically wanted Mattress back in. Might be a shot calling thing. Who knows, might be a cohesion thing, but that is at least a change that Absolute also have to contend with coming into easily their biggest matchup of the split.
It did feel like a small shot calling thing. They just felt more comfortable with having Mattress there, and Mattress is a very experienced player. He's been around for an exceptionally long time. Almost as long as Rosie, in fact, and he's been around for a long time.
I was going to say almost as long as you. You've been around for a long time as well, but maybe not that much.
Not that long.
Not that long here, as we're into our last game here. Absolute versus Chiefs. ABS over on the blue side. The Chiefs inhabiting the red. Morgana, the first ban there for Absolute. Rise will join the ban list once again in this series, and Alistar in this day. And Alistar going to get banned, of course. Nobody likes Alistar.
No surprise that Alistar being taken away. And the Rise again has just completely risen in popularity. I was almost going to say rised in popularity. Has risen in popularity a lot, and it's became exceptionally strong with the changes. So getting rid of that very strong meta pick's being taken.
Cassio being removed there as well, so away from Swiffer. Maokai actually banned away from Jack Attack. I love that ban there from the Chiefs, showing the Absolute top laner a lot of respect. And Rek'Sai going to be the last one here. Kind of a mishmash of bans here by both sides. Lots of different lanes, kind of eating a ban each.
The Rek'Sai being banned does leave open Gragas, and I felt like Gragas might have been a contested pick between these two because Malek has had a very strong showing on that Gragas, and we have seen Spooks play it. So coming into this first pick with no Alistar available, they've got maybe the Nautilus and the Gragas.
Yeah, I mean,
Kalista, Siva.
Yeah, support's open. 80 carries, that's actually very important to hit on with Radiant loving both those champions. Kulo's been a bit more of a Jinx player, but does have options there as well. And I'm not sure, because Spooks and Sejuani, to me, it's fine. It's just not special. So he does seem like much more of a Gragas player to me. He's a legacy Lee Sin player, of course. So not sure what the Chiefs are thinking, but Absolute apparently been thrown for a loop. They're considering their options, and they decide on Rumble top as their first pick.
Rumble top first pick, usually picked into the Maokai, is a very interesting first choice for them, as it does leave open a lot of options. We know Swiper plays that Renekton top, and it's not actually too bad.
No, I mean, Swiper's got a lot of good picks up his sleeve. We saw him flash his favorite Tryndamere just for a second there as well. Spook's having a bit of fun, of course. They're hovering the Shaco, I know, a favorite champion.
He's played it once.
Yours. Has he really?
He's undefeated.
He's undefeated on Shaco. I'm not sure if that's
a stat to be proud of.
I don't know if you want to be proud of that.
Proud
All right. The Chiefs considering their next few picks. Again, kind of having some fun here. As far as considerations go, I think top lane is fine. You can pick it here because Swiper's going to be confident in the matchup. Though, of course, the support's open there as well. You mentioned that jungle and support might be where they want to look. 10 seconds left for the Chiefs. We'll see what happens with this Shaco.
Wouldn't be surprised if it changes from the Shaco to the Kalista AD carry for Radiant or the Gragas for himself in the jungle. But both very strong options being left open by that Rumble first pick. And as you said, they're quite comfortable to even want to go for that top laner because they know what it's up against.
Yeah, complete a bottom lane though instead for Chiefs. So the very strong Nautilus with Alistar banned away will give that over to Egypt. And of course, Radier, big Kalista player. Definitely struggled through Split 1 to try and get into the groove with the champion, but since then, just had no problems at all.
Just grinded out Kalista till he became a beast, and we have seen him in all of these Kalista matches. Even against Legacy, he completely dominated that map and was massive.
He was, and Radier, not a player much like King from the Dials that you want to get going, especially on a champion like Kalista, but we shift over to Absolute now as they're considering their next few picks. I wonder if the Rek'Sai is maybe a read here with Malik hovering Sejuani. We've seen his Sedge be quite good here as well. We are going to lock in the Sedge, so that will leave Gragas for the Chiefs if they want it, but Mid-Beast with a curious hover.
I mentioned this
You
pre-game.
did.
I said that he's a very good Sindra, as he did hover it, almost a small shout out to what he wants to do at some stage, but instead going for that LeBlanc, and he is a very good assassin style player, Mid-Beast. Did love the Zeds and everything before the meta started to shift away. So going for that LeBlanc, one of the only assassins really left available that is super strong.
Yeah, just so much mobility, good damage, can weave in and out of a fight. There's a reason LeBlanc's still seeing playing the Cinderhulk meta, and it's a great blocker pick against Swiffer there as well. So I like the draft from Absolute. Heavy damage, heavy team fight currently coming through. They've actually shown their solo lanes, which also was kind of funny because Chiefs have only shown their bottom lane.
Yeah, they've kind of revealed a bit of their strategy here. They've got the Rumble for early game pressure or mid game pressure, and then the LeBlanc, who's good all game, but provides a siege utility that'll work well with a Sejuani. So we can see the response here from Chiefs, and it looks quite strong.
Yeah, it does look very strong. Gragas, Hecarim are going to be their pickups here. So if you want to engage, the Chiefs, let me tell you, they've got some engage.
They have the Nautilus that can be followed up by the Hecarim and Gragas perfectly. The Nautilus is one of the better parts of their engage, in that you can't actually get away from that. You're going to get knocked up eventually, so you can couple that with the rest of the Chiefs side, and so far, the 4 out of 5 we're seeing, very good.
Actually, a Malphite locked in there for ABS, so that's going somewhere. Not too sure where it would be bottom lane, I guess, given the draft that we have, but we'll maybe calm down a little bit as Absolute locking the Sivir to complete their comp, and Sivir Malphite. There you go. Last 2 picks.
I wouldn't often look at Malphite and say it's a good pick into a Nautilus Kalista, but I would imagine they're going to look to lane swap this particular matchup. Most AP Malphites, or most support Malphites, tend to go for a Morello Nomicon style build and have a lot of team fight relevance, but the laning phase is what you sacrifice for that. So Sivir's a very good self-sustaining AD carry, can get through quite simply by herself just from pushing in waves or sitting back and farming and having the spell shield. It does seem to me like it's going to be that Malphite support though.
I think it is as well. Maybe an old mattress special coming in, but I think I looked down Absolute, especially with that Malphite support. I think it may be one thing here. Kill Radier. Kill him every time you see him. I mean, Malphite's pretty good against Kalista. Support Malphite, maybe not so much, but you have the tools to keep her down to lower that attack speed. Swiffer, I think he's going to need a pretty big carry champion here, but instead, hovering the Lulu, going to pick it up here, the Chiefs. All in on Hecarim and the Kalista by the looks of things.
Yeah, so instead of going for a high carry champion in the mid lane, of having that Lulu, it's going to be more of a support the Hecarim, let Hecarim hyper carry, having the Whimsy available, or keep Raider alive.
Yeah, I mean, those are the carries here for Chiefs. We're used to seeing Swiffer be a much bigger presence for his team as far as carry potential goes. So for the Chiefs to say, all right, Swiper, we trust your Hecarim. We certainly trust your Radier, Kalista. That's a big move from the Chiefs. A really big shift in how they normally play.
And it's interesting because Swiffer now in all 5 games, including this one, has not played the same champion once.
That's Swiffer.
Such a crazy champion pool. It's going to provide them a different playstyle nearly every time as well, though, because now that they've got this Lulu, they are playing more of a protect comp, whereas last time they had, say, the TF, which is more of a roam and split push style.
Yeah, we saw a lot of split pushing in that last game, but the Chiefs going to take a bit more team fight. Absolute, though, going to try and throw everything they can at these carries and see if they can kill them. Raider especially has a really big target on his forehead.
Well, you basically said it. They do want to just throw all of themselves at Raider and make sure that he dies, but a nice niche little last pick there from Chiefs might make it a bit harder for them. But then again, if it is an AP Malphite like I have predicted, it's very hard to live through the amount of damage that puts
It
out.
is. And all the hops in the world are not going to save you from the radius of that Malphite ultimate. But we can see the team comps lining up here. Curious stuff as Mattress joins the starting roster now for Absolute. But of course, get on Twitter and let us know who you think is going to win using the hashtags ABSWin for Absolute or CHFWin for the Chiefs.
And I'm a big fan of Absolute's team comp because they've got the Shamrock Malphite skin.
They do.
It makes it. That's how you know that he's a professional Malphite player.
Yeah, he's also been around for a long time, so it doesn't really surprise me that Mattress diving deep into that bag, the skin bag, to pull out one of the oldest ones and, of course, make you happy. I'm sure that's what he was thinking. I think Midbeast here maybe has a lot to prove, honestly. LeBlanc into Swiffer, it's maybe going to be a neutral matchup here with the Lulu being in the mid lane. Tends to just want to, keep up farm with the LeBlanc and not die. But if Midbeast can have a big game, and he's really struggled sort of entering the OPL and having big performances, if he shows up Swiffer of all people on LeBlanc, that's a big message that it sends.
We've seen from Midbeast so far, he's been quite comfortable getting through the early game and mid-game. He was even 3-0 up in his last game before unfortunately falling. So he seems to be quite competent and very confident at getting through laning phase, which will work for him up against this Lulu matchup. If it becomes passive at any stage, generally the Lulu starts to push ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Lulu doesn't need a whole lot either. In order to support the Hecarim and that Kalista, just get those two items, your Athenes or Morellonomicon, and your Death Cap, and you're good to go. 40% CDR, good times.
Yeah, you can opt towards the CDR build where the shields will just be being bigger because you've stacked ability power as well. Or you can go towards more of an Athenes and have some utility and some survivability and not go straight for that max CDR.
I have a question for you, and I don't know if you know the answer, but I think you do.
Okay.
Does Morellonomicon affect help picks if you put it on an ally? Do you get the debuff?
I think you do.
That's sweet.
I'm not 100% on
really
that.
sweet.
I'm pretty sure that you do.
Okay.
Because it amplifies yeah.
Yep. I mean, it's
Let's
coming
go
from
with
picks.
yes, and
All
let's
right.
just see what.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of cool
I don't
coming
dig
in.
my own grave and build on it too far.
As we do look through the rest of the lineup as well. Spooks, of course, high-pressure jungler. Going to be very different there against Malik, who, like you said, has been a strong player so far.
Yeah, Malik's been very, very solid. He's gotten the job done for his team, basically. No insane amounts of carry compared to that of Spooks, where he kind of goes off sometimes. Malik is always consistent. And putting him on a champion like Sejuani, though, is perfect for what he wants to do. And that is alleviate the pressure from other lanes into the mid stages and then be a big force to engage for his team because he is the shot-calling beast in the jungle.
He is. He's been looking good, has great ultimates, and maybe the top lane's where the other players they want to go. We kind of touched on the mid lane. Definitely more utility there, at least from the Chief side. Mid base, we'll see what he can do. But Swiper picking the Hecarim into the Rumble. We usually see, like you said already, the Rumble into the Maokai as the counter matchup, but much different now in the top lane.
Yeah, the fact that Maokai was banned and that they first picked the Rumble shows that he was prioritizing that heavily. And that does leave Swiper open to kind of pick whatever he wanted.
And he picked
He
Hecarim.
opted for Hecarim into this because from the looks of it, it was a team comp decision having the Lulu as well as the last pick. But it's also a very comfortable matchup for a Hecarim. It's a little bit rough early game to get through. You need to start winding up the helicopter with your Rampage stacks. But if you can get to that stage, it's very easy for you to trade with the Rumble until he gets all of his Magic Pen.
And the thing is about Rumble, does have a low floor, as far as relevance goes with items, but does sort of have that spot in the mid game where if he doesn't have extra items, if he's maybe not building towards that Zonas or Abyssal or whatever it is that he wants, Rumble, those first two Dragon fights are going to look great. Number 3, though, it might not look so good.
Yeah, you're looking at the Absolute team comp side here and thinking that they want to fight once they hit level 6. They want to force an objective or an advantage just in their favor, maybe even just for kills and some damage on a turret. But they want to fight with those ultimates to make an impact on the Chiefs roster, push them back, and just gives them some kind of control and utilize it again and again. Even once they hit 11, it becomes bigger and bigger. They've got the damage to win team fights early, but we'll see if they can actually translate that into anything.
And what about the Chiefs? They just have to weather the storm and get the Hecarim going?
In a roundabout way, kind of, yeah. Depending on what Hecarim goes for, if he wants to rush the Trinity Force, then he's going to be a big force in split pushing because it's going to be very hard for this Rumble to stop him. But if they get into a teamfight stage, Hecarim's still going to be quite big.
Really good. And of course, don't forget Radius Kalista hanging out in the backline, maybe wreaking some havoc as well. But we're into our final game of the evening here, an Absolute with a bit of a change here, looking to face up against the Chiefs, who want to continue what is currently an undefeated run in Split 2 of the OPL.
Yeah, they've started off very strong, but Absolute have shown these glimmers of hope where they have been insane with their plays and decision-making, as Mattress is... never mind, he's fine.
Yep, he is fine there, but the Trinket Ward is not, unfortunately, gets taken up there by the Chiefs, who are looking for some early vision through the right-hand side of the jungle. Maybe he's going for a lane swap. Sivir actually already backing, so Kulo going to reposition himself. Ejim gets your standard spot award down there on the bottom side, but Sivir's already there, so she's just hanging out. If the Chiefs do want to swap, they're going to have to guess here.
They're going to have to play a bit of a guessing game. The wards come down in response here from Absolute straight away, and the big difference is Malphite is sitting in between wards.
Smart.
He's not going to be able to get to lane unless he wants to wait. And if he does wait, which would be smart and not reveal where they're actually situated at the moment. But we'll see what he wants to do, if he does wait for that ward to end or if he actually just gets a little bit impatient.
I mean, it's funny, the surveillance system set up there by the Chiefs means that Mattress
is stuck.
Playing a very dangerous game here, just sticking in the brush. I'm actually surprised the other ward didn't see him, but managed to sneak in.
The ward spotted
finally
him now.
walk out now, and the Chiefs, if they wanted to swap, managed to guess right. They see Mattress in the bottom side, and Raider actually coming back. Maybe they want 2v2 instead.
So that was the only error there, was they actually revealed themselves too quickly. But the Chiefs made the mistake of being in the top lane and not actually waiting in mid. So they have to react, and they're going to miss a fair bit of time with these minions hitting each other before they get there.
They are indeed, so we'll see if that affects them at all. Gromp goes to Spooks, I believe.
That's crazy.
He'll take that away.
Raider actually having to walk around the Gromp so he doesn't get any experience, wasting more time.
Yep, and you can see Ejim going to try and hold the wave here, but ABS already off to a nice experience and CS lead. Raider will catch up pretty swiftly as Swiffer in the mid lane, up against Mid Beast here on the Lulu. Kind of a curious matchup. Swiper actually does a camp and then returns to the top side with a couple extra consumables, but as everything settles, it will be standard lanes once again.
I have my concerns with what Absolute just did there. They hard pushed the wave in, but no minions actually died. So Raider getting all 6 of those at the start of this, and now they've got level 2 first. They didn't actually deny minions on the side of Absolute. That's the mistake.
How did that happen?
A bit of luck from minion RNG, but mostly the fact that Sivir pushed too hard.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that must be it. As you can see, Kulo and Mattress sitting at level 1 to the level 2 is Jack Attack.
That's casual.
That's beautiful positioning.
That was really way too casual. It looked like he was just chilling there saying hello.
He was.
Take my flames.
You can see Swiper now trying to hold the wave. Swiffer actually going to go in onto mid beast. Happy to trade here against the LeBlanc. Chugging the Crystalline Flask. Charges there is mid beast. But Lulu, I think people forget this one against lane Lulu. Pretty good early on as far as trades go.
Oh yeah, has that auto attack bonus damage, has a shield, and just has an insane slow, which does damage. So there's the utility there in the 1v1 trade. And up against someone like LeBlanc, I do like the choice of the Flask and Biscuits here though. A lot of sustain, and that is exactly what's required to try and break through the defenses of a Lulu who only has a Doran's Ring.
Yeah, and you Swiffer again with the Doran's going to be happy to take early trades, but you take enough of them, eventually you'll out-flask them as far as regen goes and be all happy days. But Raider going to take out some creeps, kind of push this wave back in as Kulo's already fallen behind by 10 CS. He'll catch up a bit here as the wave pushes back in, but again, the Chiefs coming to this lane late and getting a lead in this lane was not how Absolute wanted to start it.
It's very unfortunate, but in a way, they kind of dug their own grave for this early game, losing level 2 in a very bad position as the fight mid.
Good chain there. Malik comes through. Swiffer with a nice flash. Keeps himself safe. Spooks actually might be rotating in for a counting gank, and you can see they're worried about it because they are not going back in despite what looks like a 1v2.
No, he's trying to look as delicious as possible, this Swiffer, knowing that his jungler is nearby as they actually just clear a ward and go on about their day, not getting anything from it, but LeBlanc is starting to run out of pots.
And Swiper also getting aggressive in this top side. Jack turns around for the flames, but Swiper, W1 in the minion wave, going to sit happy there against the Rumble as they'll tussle back and forth. Spook's now going to actually invade, finds Malik. It does not have his smite though. Just going to have to force him off instead. We're going to have a bit of a rumble here for these Wolves. Little one goes to Malik. Spook's trying to zone the other one out, but they're just going to trade some spells back and forth. Still going for it. Big Wolf's still there, and Malik's going to claw. Spooks, he got it! Now Malik actually with the red buff. Going to have to run away from Spooks. LeBlanc rotating in. Swiffer can't come and help him.
Don't do it. No.
I mean, Spooks, he wants it. Maybe too much. Gets the Q down, but where's mid-beast?
Spooks had his flash there. If he had the empowered auto attack, that was a kill. And I thought he was going to bait that ward. And it was actually almost unintentional because he only just realized after he placed the ward that he had the Raptor buff. So there was a chance for a kill there from Spooks. Unfortunately, not seeing the opportunity.
I mean, a bit of a weird invade, but Spooks will get the better of it, taking the Gromp at least. So mid-beast can't quite respond there with Swiffer on his tail. And Spooks will get out safely somehow after a bit of a funky invade. Looking at the top side, but Jack's going to keep himself nice and far back by the looks of things. Swiper, he wants it. He's got a guide, actually, so kill pressure is here. But I think Jack's smart enough to dodge this gank.
Or is he?
We'll have to see. The body slam still here. Gets the first stun in there, forcing the flash there by Jack. He'll turn it around for a bit of flame damage. A lot of flame damage, actually, out onto Spooks. But Spooks will still be safe. He's playing nice and aggressively on the Gragas.
He did force the flash, so he's managed to force a lot off the map here. And it's putting him in a great position to be able to just freely roam around. He's got control as well.
Ejim finds Kulo, but Malik's here. Radier has to hop away, gets slowed there as Mattress gets snared up by Ejim. Radier still attacking through, trying to keep himself safe with the hops, and Malik doesn't want to come back in. Ejim might actually fancy another knockup. Gets it in there. Rend not in range, unfortunately. Locks up Mattress instead. They'll come back in. Hook lands for Ejim. Mattress forced to flash, but Radier needs a little bit more. Gets the Rend, but it's not enough to kill Malphite.
And they ends up coming out ahead in a 2v3 situation. Too much used and over-aggressive and staying in that bot lane there, allowing the Chiefs side to come back as they've now got a big minion stack on that turret and they can zone away all three members of Absolute.
They're going to proxy this wave as well. So Kulo, who was already behind, is going to lose even more CS in this lane. You can see just on the CS right now, 20 down already.
Yes, starting to struggle massively in that bot lane from what was a very awkward level 1 position for them. And speaking of struggling, Lulu having that Chalice available compared to the 2 Doran's rings. And Spooks is just his jungle now.
What is Spooks doing? I mean, Malik, I think, got that camp, and now level 5 will get aggressive. But Spooks, he's really
being a pest.
He is being a pest. This reminds me of his old Nunu games here as he takes the Scuttle Crab.
Well, he's doing his best Nunu impression with the added bonus of early aggression that can come from a Gragas. So he's quite comfortable in invading, but actually losing that entire jungle camp and giving Malik level 5 is behind an experience.
The Swiffer actually trading with mid-beast. Malik on the right side, though, to come in for the gank. Swiffer forced to ultimate. Spooks catches Malik. Mattress is here, though, and Swiffer, that ulti will wear off relatively soon, but Absolute again find themselves with a man advantage, but don't go all in as Jack in the top side gets ulted by Swiper. Ignite is down, and a solo kill gives Swiper first blood.
And one of the reasons that they comfortably picked this Hecarim into the Rumble is seemingly how confident the Swiper can be. It's a very good matchup for him. He has the Phage and Flask available, so his damage is relevant as they're just going to fight and wet noodle competition over a pink ward.
Yep, Nautilus and Malphite. Maybe once upon a time we're actually top laners, so very much a bit of wet noodle action happening there. But Radier just getting further and further ahead. This BF sword helping out with the CS, helping out with the aggression. I saw an Avarice Blade there for Kulo for a brief moment. Decided instead to go for a pickaxe, but he is woefully behind.
Almost channeling a Korean-style build there, wanting that Avarice Blade as soon as possible, regardless of how the lane is going. And instead going for some early damage, needing that early pressure, and I guess wanting to use the added damage that he has. It's not comparable to that of Radier, but it is something. So if they want to fight for an objective, it doesn't look like they're going to for this dragon in particular, then it is available for them.
Yeah, they can't fight for this. Radier going to be able to rend it away. Midbeast might fancy it. They actually messed that up. But Spooks will claim the dragon. Midbeast, if he'd known, could have stolen. I think they actually had a ward there.
If only he'd gone for it. I didn't expect it to rend to only 70 health as well, though, so it was a bit of a miscalculation from Radier, unfortunately. But again, no one expected that to actually happen. So Midbeast watching the dragon go down.
Yeah, instead, Chiefs will get the dragon. Radier will continue his dominance of this bottom side of the map. And that CS lead's only growing and growing.
Oh, wow, Swiffer's low.
He is low here. Does have his ultimate. Ignite ready as well. Looks like he's going to go back to base with Malik on the hunt once again as he sweeps out a ward.
Smart from Malik, knowing he saw Swiffer back off, so recognized there was some kind of vision, sweeping it straight away. And now Swiffer's even more afraid of what he already was struggling in.
Yeah, instead going to go back, going to pick up the next part of his Athenes, which is the item he'll build towards. Fiendish Codex now completed, so a good item coming through. Boots completed with a couple pots and a ward there as well, so looking good. A Mattress, in all honesty, might get dived. Cooler returns at just the right time.
They're starting to struggle. You can see level 6 from both bot laners here of Chiefs, whereas Mattress only level 5 on a Malphite is putting him in a horrendous position to actually try and continue to lane. And I was a little bit surprised they went for the 2v2. And you could see Chiefs were expecting the lane swap themselves just because it is a Malphite support up against the Nautilus. And if there's anything that can beat a Nautilus, it's probably not a Malphite.
I mean, we can see why the Chiefs wanted that 2v2 though.
Yeah.
Actually came all the way back down. Swiper's having fun in his 1v1 lane. The 2v2 is going fantastically for the Chiefs as well. In fact, just a kill on a Dragon, and the Chiefs already find themselves sitting at 1,500 gold ahead. And Swiper, he is bullying Jack in this top lane.
Yeah, at the moment, all of the lead is seemingly just coming from lanes winning, and it's allowing Spooks to invade the jungle as well, which is a lot of pressure being placed everywhere on the map. And speaking of pressure, I'm seeing some now.
He sees the wall, but he's going for a dive. Swiper has his ulti. Jack puts down his Spooks, gets the knock up, knock back with the ulti there as well.
Oh.
Good flash from Jack to keep him safe. Spooks forced a flash out from under the turret as well, and Jack dodges the gank as Midbeast actually roaming up here. Might be able to get a kill onto Spooks, flashes forward, goes in, gets the ignite down, and takes the kill.
A very smart play there from Midbeast, and a fantastic roam as we can see Swiffer making his way but being spotted, and Jack Attack, well done for saving your flash.
Yes, very well done there. Dodging the ulti from Hecker and making sure he stays safe. And a nice roam from LeBlanc actually gives Midbeast a kill here in this lane. So a slight CS lead for Swiffer's come through just from Lulu's early power. But doing nicely here on the LeBlanc. We'll see if he can make more of those plays.
If he can get 1 or 2 more of those plays in and really start to ramp up in items, this LeBlanc is going to be incredibly scary. Having to use the flash for that last one, but still having the ultimate available, gives a lot of lane pressure if needed. And this LeBlanc now having the kill, the Fiendish Codex will start to ramp up into Morello's a lot soon.
Yeah, it will, as you can see them trading blows once again. Swiffer getting the better end of the early trade again. Lots of early power on the Lulu. We saw down earlier as well in the bottom lane, Sejuani actually sitting in that lane trying to get a gank off, but the Chiefs very aware of what's happening. Keeping the lane wherever they can, as Mattress is in the mid lane on top of a ward.
Always a ward there. Always a ward there.
It's a good ward spot from the Chiefs. I mean,
great ward spot given that they are against the Sejuani and Malphite. Both of those champions love sitting in that exact spot. It's a very good enabling position for both champions who have that really hard engaged go button. So instead of sitting what is potentially a ward, but
Malik's there as well. Swiffer's trying to bait them. Too much CC though. Gives Malik the kill. Spooks will dive back in. Ejim's here as well, but it's 2v3 and Midbeast gets low, but he does not fall.
Killing Swiffer before he could use the wild growth onto himself. The chain CC was done perfectly, managing to get the kill and forcing Spooks to use the explosive cask to disengage. A great little skirmish there for Absolute, getting their eye in the right direction.
Yeah, and that gold lead shrinks a little bit more there. The Chiefs only 600 gold ahead now, but Hecarim starting to get stronger. Raiden not slowing down at all in the bottom side of the map. You can see both of them with healthy CS leads on their lane opponents. Dragon is back in a minute 50, and the Chiefs know where their priorities are.
They definitely know. You can see recalling already Raiden, no doubt having the money to buy some big stuff with that. And it's a full Bloodthirster, in fact, so he's in a very comfortable position. And with a minute and 30 before the Dragon, you'll see them all start to get buffed, start to recall and place their vision just before it is ready to go.
Strong stuff there from the Chiefs. Get their item timings, line up for that objective. Like you mentioned, as EGM returns to the bottom side is to clear out a couple of waves. Dragon up in a minute 20, so everyone getting their recalls in while they can. You can't usually want to leave about 45 seconds to a minute, but Swiper apparently does not want to leave Jack alone.
He's actually had to go for the Seeker's Arm Guard first, so not accelerating with the Haunting guys, but at least has the Sork Shoes. This next Dragon may not even be a priority for Absolute until they start to ramp up with another item. Maybe have that Haunting guys available, have a first finished Infinity Edge for Siva and finish the Morellos for LeBlanc. That is when you want to fight.
Swiffer, nice juke actually gets out from under that chain. As again, these mid laners trading into each other, but Swiffer's still got a CS lead. Down a kill though, so gold's going to be pretty even. There's a nice bit of geometry there from Swiffer, gets himself some poke. That's enough to pressure the turret and probably enough to clear space for the Dragon as LeBlanc's forced back home.
Yeah, 30 seconds, so she'll be back in time, but it is pressure in lane, and that will reveal where Malik is, most importantly. Gives them a lot of freedom, and I was just thinking to myself that they've got the Malphite support who has the Unstoppable Force now available, so they would be looking to fight relatively soon, but given the rest of their team at the moment, the item discrepancy between the two teams, Absolute can't really afford to, and then they're kind of wasting a window where Malphite will be providing a lot as a support with his ultimate, but no one else will be at the moment.
I mean, you mentioned it in the pregame, those level 6 power spikes that Absolute have. You look down the lineup, LeBlanc, okay, maybe we can shrug her off, but Rumble, Sejuani, Siva, Malphite, these are huge teamfight ultimates at a crucial time, and Dragon is back up. You said it already, Rusty, Absolute need to find a fight.
And they might even be looking to do this as a 4v4 and sacrifice having Hecarim and Rumble there, but in saying that, It's going to be very scary if the Hecarim can get into this fight. And even the 4v4 will be very interesting with the Themes finished on the Lulu and the Bloodthirster here for Raider.
Swift is a little late to this Dragon, so he has to rush back down here. The Chiefs might need to buy some time. A ward straight back into the pit there as the ultimate's going to come through. Kulo's forced to back away. Malik actually gets tied up there. Raider's going to get himself a kill. Mattress coming through. Swiper dives onto the AD carry. Flash hits the wall. Mattress now chained up there by the hook. And now Jack's going to get chased on. Swiper with the Wild Growth on him, slowing for days. And that's 4 clean kills and what's going to be a Dragon for the Chiefs.
And that's starting to pose a lot of problems for this Absolute lineup, as they almost just did the walk away and not actually want the Dragon. Another big team fight in their favor, and it's on the back of the item times that we're discussing.
Swift, so aggressive. Wow. Takes out mid beast to Spooks, make sure the kill goes down. Chiefs will transition into the mid lane to take out a turret. And all of a sudden, that 1,000 gold lead that the Chiefs had before, they take a bunch of kills and rocket themselves up to 5k ahead.
Yeah, exactly. And I know that we've been reiterating this fact multiple times about the item spiking, but that is exactly what Absolute were looking to do. And realistically, they wanted to fight for that Dragon. But given the difference between the two teams at the moment, it's so hard. And this is the big issue, is Kulo had no spell shield before that Nautilus ultimate, and puts him in a bad position where Swiper just wrecks him straight away. The rest of the side are in defeat, in retreat even, running away from this. So Jack Attack has no damage because he doesn't have any big items, only the Seeker's Arm Guard. And Absolute is starting to look quite messy almost.
A little bit as Spooks ultis Malik away to keep himself safe. I like the defeat and retreat. That's kind of the opposite of the kite and fight. It's the sad version.
So throw the explosive cask and walk away with your head down.
In fact, Malik and Jack might get some damage onto this turret. Rady coming through. Ejim's up here as well. Spooks buying some time. No ulti, remember, but Fade's Call's here for Kalista. Jack and Malik have to go away. Q lands onto Jack Attack. Mattress here as well. Swiper's also running back through. Ultimate's not quite there. Wow. Mattress takes a big chunk instead. And I wonder if Swiper's finished that Trinity Force. He has.
He's definitely finished that Trinity Force, judging by the amount of damage he's dealing alone. And it is a support Malphite, granted. He's going to be taking a lot of damage. He's kind of a sacrificial lamb of the Absolute lineup, looking to hit an unstoppable force and slow the attack speed of Kalista. So I like the theory behind it, but they're in a very tough position to actually make it work.
Good rotation, though, from the Chiefs in the top side of the map. Get themselves, try and get some damage done onto this turret that's quite low already at this stage. Swiper actually down to the bottom. I think Swiffer was there earlier, just collecting some stray CS. But again, the Chiefs playing it calm, playing it carefully. No major objectives up right now, so no need to rush around the areas.
All of the members from Absolute, except for Midbeast, are here, and they're looking to go.
Yep, trigger pulled by Cooler. They're absolutely going in. But Ejim's coming through. Mattress finds one. It's a support, but he Fates calls his way out. Ultis go wide. And that's everything from Absolute.
They tried to make something happen, but Chiefs look to be even turning it around.
Depth charge landed to Jack. Hook's landing in there as well. Plenty of damage coming through. Jack actually maybe doing a bit more than he thought he would. Spook's though in the mix. Looks for Kulo. Flashes maybe the wrong way. Finds Kulo though. Knocks him back into Radier for a meal. But Ejim actually going to take it away. And a bit of comedy up in the top lane, but the Chiefs get 2 kills.
I hope Spooks is laughing at his own play just there, because I saw that, buddy. That was pretty rough.
Tara coming in now as well. It was a bit of a rough flash. Spooks going to chuck a barrel into the minions. And meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Swiper casually taking some turrets.
Yeah, Swiper not having the teleport for that fight, but didn't even require it, because you said just before that, Absolute used everything to try and catch them, only finding Ejim and having the Fates Call to save him. Straight away, the Chiefs turn around. There's only 2 members there. Became 3 members not too long after that, but in saying that, they're just so confident and know when they can turn around a fight.
And this has been the thing with the Chiefs that's made them such a terrifying team to face in this region. They collapse quicker than any other team in this region. If you're fighting one of them, you best believe the rest of them are just around the corner.
Yeah, when it comes to coordination, Chiefs are top-notch, and you can see the decision-making has been there from Absolute, though. They've recognized when they're hitting not necessarily item spikes, but team comp spikes, and when they should be fighting. But they've just been doing it at very unfortunate timings.
I mean, they fell behind. They couldn't,
yeah, exactly.
Normally, you use your power spikes because you're ahead if you're even on gold just based on the composition, but you fall behind in gold, and all of a sudden, those pretty ultimates that you want to line up for that Dragon fight don't look nearly as attractive.
Well, you can tell that they've got the experienced players, though, that know they can fight. It's just the team themselves are still refining that. And
Swiper, 1v3, gets a kill! Does go down to Malik as he kites them around, and the Chiefs instead will react immediately onto the Baron.
Swiper managing to pick up a kill there in a 1v3 with the exhaust down on him. does pick up Jack Attack, so no top lane is going to be in this fight. And it's getting quite low.
They have to go in. A lot of spears back in Baron's head. Mid Beast diving through Spooks, though. Very tanky. Swiffer actually will just take him out. Ren comes in, and ABS have to Sivir ulti away from the Baron pit.
Turning him into a squirrel just as he came into the pit there.
Charge. Nice from Kulo coming in. Now going to get taken out. Riptide comes through. Spook's ulti will actually damage boost Kulo away. EGM really wants it as Swiffer chasing in with the Whimsy as well. Mattress finds the ulti. Swiffer actually locked out by Malik. Gets a 4-man ult. But Raider going to chase Sejuani out from under the turret. Almost gets the kill. Barrel will claim it. And the Chiefs, they're just too far ahead.
That barrel did a lot of damage, but fantastic work from Absolute to turn around what was looking really, really difficult for them to even pick up a kill onto Swiffer. Not even able to use his ultimate again. They're locking the CC down. They're chaining it perfectly to find these kills, but it is starting to become that feeling of a little bit too little too late.
I mean, we talk about Malik. Great ultimates, great team player, really makes the plays for his team when it counts, but being too far behind is going to cause these sort of problems. Absolute are already 10,000 gold down against the Chiefs. Callista's pushing out waves with the Rune and Hurricanes. Dragon's going to be back in 20 seconds. And some decent ultimates up now for ABS across the board, but level 2 ultimate does not match a 2,000 gold leading your lane.
I mean, the saving grace is that their team fighting is really good. They've got the team comp designed around very strong team fighting, and they've got, irrespective of the item discrepancy, the champions to make it work if they get onto the ideal targets. But at this stage, at this time in the game with the gold difference, it's starting to get harder and harder, and it's starting to fall away from their grasp, as you can see. Everyone having a massive lead. In particular, Raider about 3,000 gold ahead.
Yeah, ridiculous there in the bottom lane. 2,000 up for Swiffer almost as well. And Hecarim actually, that's almost 3,000 gold ahead for Swiper, who's 50 CS ahead.
Yeah, he's very far ahead. You can see the fact that he gets a kill 1v3 with exhaust on him is just how ahead that he actually is. But, I mean, 6,000 difference between the AD and the top laner alone. Unbelievable. That's a full item.
It is. And 3 dragons and 4 turrets for the Chiefs, who are lining up almost a perfect game here. Just those 4 kills tarnishing their current record here in the game. Jack will try and clear out what he can, but he's so bare bones with the item builds. This is sort of the Rumble thing that we talk about. Low floor, sure. You get your 2 items and you're good to go. But right now, Jack, he would take almost any other item at this point of the game.
Well, I mean, you get the 2 items and you're generally speaking good to go. But when the difference between yourself and your lane opponent is this big, you're not really good to go anywhere. You're kind of on struggle street.
You are indeed. And ABS trying to clear out the waves. They do have the Sivir. They've got decent wave clear coming through. So even with the Baron buff on the members of the Chiefs, they'll buy as much time as they can. But the Chiefs, it'll only take one mistake from ABS for them to dive on top of you. We've seen EGM already. His Nautilus engages have been on point so far in the game.
He's been working very well around the spell shield usage from Kulo and saving his ultimate. There's Malphite.
Mattress going in, finds only EGM. Those Spooks coming in. Another good ult from Malik. Kulo trying to fight them. Knock up though from EGM. Dives back in with a Fate's Call. And Radiant's got so many red stacks. Gets the first kill. Gonna get another. Might be a Quadra coming through there. Gets the 4 as well. And Jack Attack, thank God you're in the top lane because that was a Penta.
He's kind of rotating there with a bit of force behind him. Might be looking to find it.
Swiper's trying to line it up. They're going to donate it over if they can. Not. Swiper, you scumbag! Takes the Penta.
I think Jack Attack flashing towards Swiper there, to be fair. Denying Raider any chance of a Penta. So rightly so, giving the kill away to the Hecarim as a Quadra kill comes out for Raider. And he's basically able to just free hit from the side in these fights. And fantastic engages, though, from the Malphite and the Sejuani. Not enough at this stage in the game to turn around a team fight completely between those two. They need the LeBlanc and the Sivir to have some impact and some damage. But if you compare that to Swiffer and Raider, who are still on full health by the end of that fight, it's kind of difficult.
It's a massive difference. You know what? Let's see it again.
So they've got a great engage again. You can see doing a lot of work on the people that are actually there. But Raider at the side is just all of them right now. The damage that he put down, all of those Ren stacks, able to pick up a very swift Quadra kill for his team.
And I was going to mention it earlier. We saw King in the last game on the Callista, but go for the single target build and just kite around these tanks and kind of weave in and out of the team fight, taking out single targets. You know, sort of like a Vayne might want to. Raider's gone for the other standard build, I guess. He's gone for that Hurricane second. And you can see, when you get a lead especially, just how much damage in the mid game you can do.
Oh yeah, we really are starting to see how much damage he is doing. That Hurricane did so much work in the last fight, getting onto multiple members of Absolute, just stacking them with the Ren stacks and then just pulling them all out at once and destroying them.
Radier has a Blade of the Ruin King.
He does.
At 25.5 minutes.
Well, I mean, at 25 minutes, he has a pickaxe with 3 finished items in Berserker
And
Greaves.
upgraded trinket.
That's a whole lot of Radier.
It is a lot of Radier as Ejim going to get onto the buff. Swiper finding Kulo. That damage is not reasonable at all. And Swiper gets himself a kill.
That's gross.
That was gross.
That's really gross.
I mean, we talk about Hecarim as an anti-carry. That's sort of why.
He's anti-everything right now. He's
Anti-life.
unbelievable. Yeah, anti-life, sure. I mean, you can't just talk about the Hecarim either. All of this Chiefs side are really, really big at the moment, and it's basically up to them to try and close this game out as systematically as possible, but it seems to me as though they do want to do that through the bot lane. Spook's clearing the wave out.
He's got the top open already, don't forget, as Mattress goes in onto Swiper. Ulti from Malik finds it in, but he's so tanky, and here comes Radier. Jumps in on top onto Malik, gonna get the first kill. That Sejuani died so quickly.
That's
gross.
What? Everything in this game is gross right now, Pastry.
I mean, that's what happens when you're 16,000 gold ahead as the Chiefs storm into the mid lane to try and take more turrets. Jack attack. Defense there in the mid lane with the equalizer going down, but Radier hops around it. Jack attack's going to be the first target. Swiper dives in onto the back line. There's another kill. Maybe going to look for the Penta as the Mimic goes down. Mattress going to be the double. Radier hunting with a Penta. He missed out on last time. Kolo gets knocked up, but they won't take him out. Swiffer eats a bunch of lasers. That Pierce would have killed Sivir if it had hit. And Malik coming back to try and defend his base, but it is in ruins.
They are going to be able to translate this into the mid turret, I would say. Get the inhibitor just because of the raw pressure they're able to put down. Even with the health that they have right now, safe, confident, and Radier is always bouncing aggressively, looking to find the next target to kill us. Midbeast is trying his best to find something, but Raidier's not, I mean, Swiffer even, not taking damage.
No, I mean, he's Luden's Echo completed, even going aggressive with the build there as Swiffer might even be a Rabadon to join that blasting one fairly soon. Home Guard Boot's actually done. Not sure where else he's going with the build just yet, but the Chiefs, they don't care too much right now. They're going to go straight in onto the Baron here. And between the Callisto and the level 14 Smite from Spooks, it is a trivial objective.
The real question is who's going to be able to outsmite who at the moment. As Spook's somehow beating a bajillion stacks.
I don't know how that happened, but credit there for Spook showing his jungle prowess as Radier returns to base. Last Whisper completed now as well. QSS also done. And you look at this build, all that lifesteal, the Hurricane bolt spreading out everywhere, the red stacks going on. Absolute have to kill Radier in a single rotation through a QSS and a Lulu ultimate and a bunch of peel. Because if they don't, he's going to get a pentakill.
I can't accurately describe what Radier is right now with actual words. It's usually just sounds and descriptions like, ugh. That's what Radier is right now.
Fed, very fed. As Radier going to rotate to the bottom side. Chiefs don't have very many objectives left to take here, but they might look for the Dragon. Ignoring it right now, given that it's only Dragon number 4. Would help them push just a bit, but they're probably content with trying to close out the game.
They're going to do their best CLG EU impression, I would say. Sit in the base till 60 minutes and hope that you haven't lost the game before that. Start to scale up with some kind of item differences. They've got the team fight comp, but they're going to have to go now.
I mean, going now is a problem because they're 20,000 gold behind almost, and the Chiefs, they're going to close the trap once again. Kulo goes through. Radier actually gets popped up. Malik with a great ulti, but Radier gets out. The wild growth on top. There's the first kill onto Jack. Mattress going to be the second for the double. Spook takes the other, so Pentadream is dead, but Swiffer diving onto mid-beast. The ace is completed, and the Chiefs, in style, take the game.
Very convincingly, Absolute try to put everything onto Radier and take him down, but they've got the Lulu to support, they've got the QSS even on Radier, everything on this Chiefs lineup able to protect what is their AD carry, and he's having a monster of a game.
He had a monster of a game as the Chiefs take the victory and maintain their undefeated record, and I tell the lie. I said if they couldn't kill him, he was going to get a penta. The only thing he missed was the penta.
He got a quadra, which is almost there, but I guess Jack Attack kind of not letting that one happen.
No, I mean, Swiper, you could have ulted to give the penta to your AD carry. No, it's fine. Take it away. As the Chiefs Really strong game coming in, and you have to think, just looking through some of the picks that went through, absolutely we're always going to have a tough game, but was not made any easier by the Chiefs, who are playing in full force.
Yeah, absolutely having a very difficult game, but Chiefs coming through so strong and showing why they're on top of the ladder at the moment.
And with that last result, we're going to check in for our results of the day and see who are the winners and who unfortunately did not pick up a win today. We start with the top side of the results. Legacy versus Immunity, with Immunity taking away the upset victory there. And Avant versus Sudden Fierce, sees Avant get themselves another win.
Our third game of the day saw Direwolves taking a convincing finish over Sin Gaming, and the fourth game was Chiefs demolishing Absolute.
And it was a bit of a demolition, wasn't it, there? Ready going crazy. The Chiefs looking good, and strong results for all the teams here across the day. But, of course, if you want to catch up on everything else as well, maybe rewatch some of those moments and see just if Raider could have gotten that pentakill. Head on over to oce.lolesports.com for your VODs, your schedule, and all your other groovy OPL stuff.
And again, that was just the grossest game I think I've
so
ever seen.
Gross. I mean, we've seen Raider get fed before, but that was unlike almost anything we've seen from him recently. Maybe the message is clear once again. Do not give the man Callista.
Yeah, it was a massive game for them. They did so much work. Really impressive all around.
Yeah, very impressive, and a great day of OPL ends once again. But we will return, of course, coming up on this Thursday for myself, Rusty, Atlas, Spawn, and our entire live production crew. We will see you later this week for more OPL.